Hello, today we're going to talk about Topic 0, Lesson 7 notes, adding and subtracting mixed numbers. To add mixed numbers, the first thing we need to do is convert the mixed number to improper fractions. So the first thing I'm going to focus here on is taking this 3 1/2 and convert it to an improper fraction. We learned in Lesson 6 that to do that, we're going to take our denominator of 2, multiply it by the whole number of 3. Now for me personally, what I like to do is I take 2 times 3, and I know that that's 6. So I'm going to write a little 6 here so I remember. And then I need to add the numerator of 1 to get my new numerator in my improper fraction. So 6 plus 1 is 7. We know that our denominator will always stay the same here, so my denominator is going to stay at 2. Now I come over to 5 3/5 and I repeat the same process. I'm going to take 5 times 5, which is 25. And then I'm going to add that new numerator and get 25 plus 3, which is 28 for my new numerator. Denominator will continue to stay the same. This is an addition problem, so I'm going to put a plus sign in the middle. And now we're going to focus on using the least common multiple method of my two denominators. So to do that, what I need to do is off to the side, I'm going to write out the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 5. Okay, and to do that, again, I'm just going to count by that number. Our multiples are our counting numbers. So for 2, I start at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I go out maybe 5 or 6 places, and then I go check the other number. Now I'm looking for the first number that appears in both lists. So I'm going to start counting by 5s here. I've got 5, 10. As soon as I see a number that appears in both lists, I can stop. So my least common multiple of 2 and 5 is going to be 10. So in my new problem, I'm going to be looking for denominators of 10, and I have to figure out how I got those. So to get from 2 to 10, I had to multiply by 5. Anytime you're working with fractions, anything you do to either the numerator or the denominator, you have to do to the other. So since we multiplied our denominator times 5, to keep it balanced, we also have to multiply our numerator by 5. So 7 times 5 is 35. We repeat the process on the second fraction here. How did we get from 5 to 10? Well, I had to multiply by 2. Anything I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator in order to keep it balanced. So I'm going to multiply the top by 2 as well. Okay, this one, if you need to go off to the side and show your work on that, that is perfectly fine. So over here off to the side, I'm going to show 28 times 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry my 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. So my new numerator is 56. Now, when adding together our fractions here, we have a common denominator, so now I can finally add them. Remember, to do that, I add straight across the top. So I'm going to add 35 plus 56. 35 plus 56. 5 plus 6 is 11. Carry my 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 5 is 9, which means my new numerator is 91 over, and my denominator, we do not add these together. Remember, it just moves straight over into our answer. So our improper fraction that we have when we've added these two together is 91 over 10. Now we're not done yet. We need to convert it back into a mixed number. To do that, remember, we just divide. So we take the numerator, 91, divided by the denominator, 10. 10 does not go into 9, but 10 does go into 91 9 times. 9 times 10 is 90. I subtract, and I'm left with 1 left over. Now we have to remember here the pieces of our division here and how they relate to our mixed number that we have. Okay, our whole number, 9, is going to be from our quotient, our answer to the division problem. So we know that our whole number for this is going to be 9. And for our fraction, we are going to look at our numerator, which is how many was left over in the end. So that's our remainder down here. So our numerator is going to be a 1. And then that only leaves left here the 10 that we divided by. That is our denominator. that will go to the bottom of the fraction. Again, that denominator always stays the same as we work through the problem. The last thing to do is check and see if it needs simplified. Anytime you ever have a 1 in your numerator, it is already in simplest form, so there is nothing else we can do on this one. Our final answer is 9 1/10. All right, now the same problem using the butterfly method. We start off the same process. We convert it to improper fractions. So 3 1/2 we saw came out as 7/2 plus 28/5. Again, we just converted those in the last one, so I can use the same numbers. And then using the butterfly method here, I am looking at cross multiplying. So I'm going to take 2 times 28, which we actually showed our work on earlier. So 28 times 2 we said was 56. So I can put my little 56 up here so I don't forget it. And then I'm going to cross multiply the other way. 7 times 5. 7 times 5 I know is 35. Is 35. And then I have to multiply my bottoms, my denominators. So 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, this is an addition problem, so I'm going to add up my top numbers. I've got 35 plus 56. Again, earlier we showed that work. We saw that that was 91. And then our denominator moves straight up into our answer. And then from here, we follow the same last step. We have to convert it back into a mixed number. We take the numerator divided by the denominator. And again, we've showed our work for that one already. So we are going to go ahead and show that that will equal 9 1/10. All right, now pause the video and try to do these next 2 problems on your own using the methods. Then, once you've finished, unpause the video, check to see if your answers were correct and you have the work that matches it. Okay, now we are going to subtract mixed numbers. So this is going to go the exact same process as adding mixed numbers, except instead of adding the numerators, we will subtract the numerators. But the process is the exact same way. So we start off by converting these into improper fractions. So to start off, 5 times 7, denominator times whole number is going to be 35. And then I have to add my numerator. It gives me 39/5. Numerator or denominator stays the same. Minus, same process over here. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus the 1 gives me a 7/3. All right, now I follow that same process as before. I'm going to list out my multiples of 5 and multiples of 3. This is one where you may just know it right off the top of your head, which is awesome. But I'm going to start off by counting by those numbers until I find one that's going to be in both lists. And then I go to the other one, 3, 6, 9, 12, and I see 15 is in both of them. Okay, so I'm looking at 15 and 15. All right, so my new denominator is going to be 15. Subtraction, and again, 15. Now I have to think about how did I get from 5 to 15? Well, I had to multiply by 3. Whatever I do to the denominator, I also do to the numerator, so also times 3. If you don't know what that is off the top of your head, again, go off to the side, show your work. 39 times 3. 3 times 9 is 27. Carry my 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So I have 117/15 minus, again over here, same process. I had to multiply it by 5 this time to get from 3 to 15. What I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator, so I have to multiply it by 5. 7 times 5 I know is 35. And now I can go about solving. My denominators are the same. I need to subtract straight across the top. So 117 minus 35. Again, this is a subtraction problem. So 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 3, I cannot do that. I have to borrow from my neighbor. That becomes a 0. 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. So my new numerator is going to be 82, and that denominator moves right over into my answer, which is 15. All right, once we're here, again, we need to convert it back into a mixed number. To do that, I just need to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 82 divided by 15. With this, we need to start thinking about how many times can 15 go into 82. If you're not sure, a good strategy is to go off to the side, count by 15s until you get up to, or as close as possible to 82. Okay, now I know that it goes in 5 whole times. 5 times 5 is 25, carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And then I can subtract. 2 minus 5, I can't do that, I have to borrow. Turns into a 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. Just like last time, our places are going to be the same. My whole number comes from my quotient, the answer here, 5. So my whole number is going to be a 5. My numerator is my remainder. So the 7 down here at the bottom. And then our denominator, as always, will stay the same with this 15. And lastly, I check, can it be simplified? I ask myself, what numbers go into 7? Only 1 and 7. We don't simplify with 1, so I ask myself, does 7 go into 15? And I know for a fact that it does not. So this answer is in simplest form. All right, for the butterfly method, the exact same process again as last time. We've already converted these into improper fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy those over. So we have 39 over 5 minus, again, this is subtraction, 7 over 3. So just like on the addition, I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to take 5 times 7, which I know is 35. And then I'm going to do my other diagonal, 39 times 3, which we showed our work for over here in the yellow, is 117. And I multiply my bottoms, which is 15. So I look here, I've got 117 minus 35. So off to the side here, 117 minus 35. 7 minus 5 is 2. I cannot do 1 minus 3. Again, I have to borrow. 1 becomes 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. So my numerator is 82. And then my denominator moves right over into my answer. And I'm left with 82 over 15 again, which we just showed our work for, converting it back into a mixed number. I do that division, and I see that I get 5 and 7/15. Now, go ahead and pause the video again. Attempt the next 2 problems on your own. Use both methods. And then once you're done, you feel like you've got that correct answer, go ahead and unpause the video and check your work to see how you did.